Yo, what's up, everybody? Imagine if that was the entire podcast and it just kept cutting back to each of us and we had to keep doing something different. And then the time that one of us did the same thing, then we just got shot in the head. That'd be funny. Anyways, welcome back to the show. My name's John, and we are Those Movie Dudes here to talk about films and movies, new releases, movie news, play a few games, see which movie gets thrown off the train to the Nazis this week, and just have a good old time. So I'm happy you're here. Happy to be here on 6 p.m. on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Let's welcome in our fellow mothers, Nate and Ducky. Oh, mommy status, am I right? I'm John.
Yeah, we know.
Trust me, we know.
We know. You already said the word Nazi in 90 seconds into the podcast, so demonetize again. Thanks.
And
John.
talk about
Yay! Anyways, I'm John, and Spencer had to cut out that part. I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. It's good to be back.
all 2 minutes of it.
Happy Mother's Day.
Off to a fun start. Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Any mothers listening, thank you. That's 0. But actually, well, maybe your mom still listens. Probably not.
She might. I don't know.
No,
Probably.
yeah.
I think she kind of fell off of the last year or so. But.
Yeah, no.
Did you help her up?
No, I didn't live too far away to. Yeah, she doesn't have Life Alert. Do they still make Life Alert?
Of course.
Is that like the help I fall and I can't get up? But
Yeah, it's the button you have on your neck. But what happens if you break both arms?
Chin.
You do this.
I feel like Help I Fallen and I Can't Get Up would be a really good movie. Like,
Dude, imagine this. It's an old lady. Her husband's been dead for years. She lives alone. She doesn't have Life Alert, and she's just on the floor. And it's like a rush against time for her trying to get help. But it's just her perspective, and she's old as fuck, and she can't move.
it could be like Gerald's Game, where she's like hallucinating too. It'd be like
And
really
it's June
intense.
Squibb, and she wins the Oscar, and then
Oh my
she
God.
dies on stage during her acceptance speech.
Okay, wow, we don't have to go there. Like, this is already a fucked up concept.
That's a really good movie, though. Like, that's
There
a
you
great
go.
idea.
And you can sell it. It's marketable. I mean, Help I Fall and I Can't Go. Everybody knows those commercials where like
Of course.
this is old ladies like in black and white, and they're just like flailing around on the ground.
Starring Chris Pratt for some reason.
Yeah. Nate, would you go and see that movie?
If it was like a $5 Tuesday type of thing. I am down with the June Squibb though. Like I'd be down to see
Right?
her kind of
Good casting.
cracking jokes. Like she falls down and breaks her hip. She's going to the door and goes, "This is not hip."
She's like a sweet old lady, and like,
Like a
just
catchphrase.
down on her luck. She's trying to go to like a church potluck, and she just fell down the stairs on the way, and like her chili fell all over her, and she's burned and shit. You know?
Her neighbors are gone for the on vacation, so there's no one to come and check on her, and the only person that does is the local pastor, but he's a drunk, so he forgets to check on her, and she's there for a month.
This is crazy.
We're writing a movie right
Amazing
here.
movie right now.
This is it.
This is crazy. Wow, and it's all just a metaphor.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Or
I feel like this was like a fake movie from like the Tropic Thunder fake movie trailers, or like the studio, like where they're making all these like ridiculous ideas, like the
I Fall and I
Kool-Aid
Can't
movie
Get
and shit. This is Help I Fall
Yeah,
and
honestly,
Can't Get Up.
amazing. Anyways, welcome back to the show. I'm John.
Yeah,
Why do you keep doing that?
yeah. I mean,
You've done it like
bro.
3
Putting
times
in like
already.
at this point, like every 5 minutes, I say, "Oh, hey, welcome back."
It's like 10-second Tom.
Yeah.
It's just-
Oh God, I'm glad to be here. I'm John.
Anyways, I guess before we get into movie news, no need to catch up on the challenges. Just keep going. Keep going. I'm still watching movies every day almost. John, I hope you've been putting your
I'll share
Blu-rays.
something that I didn't do anything for my challenge, but I did buy a movie.
Oh,
So you're just adding to your challenge.
adding to your channel.
No, because I've seen this movie,
Okay, that's
so it
what I was
doesn't
gonna
count
say.
technically. But
What'd you get?
it is unopened. You guys know about this film because I put it in the chat, but I just want to share it with the listeners. It is
The South Park
Nora,
movie.
Criterion in the plastic.
Wow.
Yeah,
And I haven't
leave it in the plastic.
Yeah, but
I'm tempted to get the 4K just because it's in a fat box. But
Is the
then-
Blu-ray not?
no, of course
Oh.
not.
wait, what number is this? 1259.
Hmm.
So it's a nice one. I want to open it up, like see what's in there, but I'm perfectly happy looking at the cover as well. So
It's on Disney Plus.
Badass.
Just
thank you, Sean
watch
Baker.
it on there.
Yeah.
It's on
and-
Disney Plus.
Yeah. Disney has their new princess, and that's Anara.
So you can watch Beauty and the Beast, or you can see Mikey Madsen. Like, it's
Perfect. Yeah, one won an Oscar, one did not. Actually, I think Beauty and the Beast won Best Animated Film. That's besides the point. You guys have not rewatched Anora, right? You still have only seen the movie once in theaters.
That's why I bought it. It needs a rewatch because I didn't like it that much.
Well, it's still wrapped up, so I think you need to get to that. I enjoyed it more on the second watch, but great pickup. Nice. They're going to announce the next lineup of movies to the Criterion Collection this week, I think. What's one movie you guys want to see get added to the collection? If it could be this week, what could it be?
Oh God!
What movie do I want to spend too much money on?
It needs like an addition.
I see. Okay. Like what needs like a deep dive with a bunch of like cool art and like special features and stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Or a movie that maybe hasn't even been on 4K yet, or movie that needs some more love.
A movie that's still not on 4K and is barely on Blu-ray is Undercover Brother.
Okay, you can't pick that. I think that's been your go-to every time I've asked this question in the past.
Still not on Blu-ray.
It can't be that. Come on.
I'll think of a real answer. Hold on.
I'll even accept a box set if you want to go with a box set.
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it'd be cool. Godzilla -1. Put this on Criterion.
All right, I'd buy it.
I think that'd be sick.
It would be nice if they added it to like. That's what I hate about them making definitive box sets and Criterion, because if another Godzilla movie comes out, isn't that technically part of it?
Well,
I mean, they have
like the James Bond box. Like it's got all of them up until Skyfall, but it's like, what about Spectre and No Time to Die?
When that came out, Skyfall was about to come out, so they had like a little slot for Skyfall when that was going to come out. Like that was like the last one, but it was empty, like because obviously the movie hadn't come out yet. But it was there just in case, like when you did buy it, you could add it to that collection. Because I remember my friend bought that, and I was like, "What the hell? It's an empty thing of Skyfall here."
That's interesting.
But then there's 2 more movies, so do you cut?
Well, yeah, I mean, time does go on, but at the time, that was what happened.
Don't buy box sets because there's gonna be more movies coming out. There's literally like a new fucking Predator movie coming out this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think Predator's gonna be on Criterion, but Nate and I have talked about this all the time, and I'm sure any other movie fan has maybe seen this on like forums, but a Stanley Kubrick box set, I think that just needs to finally come out. A lot of his movies are on 4K anyways. Like they have great scans. I think a handful of his movies are even on Criterion. Barry Lyndon, The Killing, maybe a couple other ones. I'm not sure, but just go ahead, do it. Spartacus, add them all. 2001.
Yeah, I have Spartacus, but it's not a Criterion. Like there's a Criterion DVD of it, but
Spartacus.
But yeah, I think that would be sweet. But single edition, I need a new 4K restoration Criterion edition of Taxi Driver. I mean, the movie's iconic. My edition's broken, and I needed to get the Criterion treatment. So there we go.
I think once Quentin's actually done making movies too, that would be a cool box set. All 10.
Okay.
All
right.
Right.
Cool. Nate, have you given me an answer yet, or are you still staring up in the clouds?
I'm trying to pull. I can't pull anything right now.
Guy.
For Pete's sake, Nate, get your head out of the clouds.
Hey, I've submitted many recommendations to Criterion for releases,
and they submit one right now to us.
Okay.
Hey, Nate. Nate.
What?
Thanks.
I just rewatched this movie a couple weeks ago, by the way.
So good. They came together. If you haven't seen it, those are all They Came Together references. Sorry.
Okay.
Swish. Well, I guess
you're just giving more time to simmer for you to come up with a really good answer. That's all it is.
Well, no, because the answer that just popped into my head is really mainly for me. You guys probably won't care that much, but I want Criterion to put out a Tarkovsky box set and release Nostalgia and The Sacrifice so that I can dreadfully watch those 2 and finally be completed with his filmography.
Even though you don't like his movies, right?
I'm intrigued by them. Like they're a little on the slogging bore side.
Love those. Those are my favorite.
Fascinating because like none of his movies have less than a 4, I think, on Letterboxd. So I'm
Okay.
like, well, should probably check
Well-
them all out because I own the other ones.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, hopefully,
It's not that than like Mike.
yeah.
You know,
that'd be a
Jesse
good one.
Plemons,
Little
Lil
Jesse
Bow Wow,
Plemons,
Brenda Song.
little
Like
Jesse
Mike
Plemons
and Undercover
commentary
Brother box set.
30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
down.
cool. But yeah, no, I think they're gonna announce the new Criterions this week, so it'll be cool to find out what movies get added to the collection. But moving on, let's get into the first topic here. Let's get Peter into the chat here. Here he is. Okay, do your thing. All right.
What the fuck is this?
Movie news.
No, thanks, Peter. Here every week live. Then
No.
you take him out of the building. I thought this was a live image. I thought you had an alternate camera, and I was like, "What?" I was like so confused.
For those on the visual, either on Spotify or YouTube, this is just a placeholder image, so you guys don't see the first topic. This is a screen grab from the movie Children of Men. Nate and I have a first time watching an episode on that, but this
That'd be a
is
great
my
movie.
favorite frame of the movie because it has a rubber ducky on the
Very
windowsill.
prominent in the picture too.
Right?
It's trying to tell you something because like it's the brightest thing in the image was typically
Well,
with
there
me
you go.
the most important thing.
But moving on, first topic here that I wanted to discuss with you guys. Back in 2009, famous director changed cinema forever. His name is
Catherine
James
Bigelow.
Cameron.
James
Oh.
Cameron. Yeah, Nate got it. With Avatar. And then Avatar came out, changed cinema, introduced like 3D. They went down a whole deep dive with that. Now that's gone, thank God. But James Cameron basically said, I'm only going to make Avatar movies now. Like, I'm not going to make anything else. So all of his previous movies like Titanic and True Lies, The Abyss, these kind of like original ideas that he directed, it was kind of like sad to hear that, okay, he's not going to do any more of those movies. He's just going to do Avatar movies. And he's kind of held true to his word because it took him 11 something years to make Avatar 2. No, more than 11 years. I mean, 12 years. And then Avatar 3, it's going to come out, I think, at the end of this year. And then Avatar 4 is announced, and 5. It's like, oh my God, man. But
These better be perfect because that's a lot of time.
still haven't seen 2. I'll get around to it. But all of a sudden, he announced that he is actually going to direct a non-Avatar movie.
Huh.
So here it is. He announced his next project. James Cameron confirms Ghosts of Hiroshima will be his next non-Avatar film. He met with a survivor of the atomic blast of Hiroshima, and just days before he died, he was in the hospital, and I guess he was handing the baton of his personal story to James Cameron to adapt into a feature-length film. So, I mean, what is this? This is going to be like the horrors of Oppenheimer, which is directed by James Cameron here.
This sounds
Jesus.
cool because those blasts, I don't know if you guys know, but then the atomic brightness, the flash that happened, like when people's bodies, their
Get
shadow
vaporized.
melted into the rocks. So like you can still see like people's shadow of where their body was when the explosion happened. I'm on board with this. I would see this.
I thought someone was already making a movie adapted by this story. I thought we were talked about this at one point, or maybe it was like being talked about that a movie was going to be made, but a director wasn't attached. Because I've heard about this guy before, and it seems like a movie. Like, how could a guy survive Hiroshima and Nagasaki? I mean, I don't know where I'm getting that from, but yeah, this sounds fucking awesome. And look at this image of him. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's based
So
on
cool.
It's based on a book, I believe. Maybe not. I don't know. It looks like
No,
it
it's
is based on the
pictures
image. Wait, it says that James Cameron wrote the book. Is that just an AI image that they use?
No, I
No,
think
based-
this will be adapted.
Okay, yeah.
into a film.
I don't know. Maybe some other directors were circling it. That could have happened. It could have been like in some
We
development
definitely talked
processes.
about
But
this.
this was the first I heard about it when I saw the story break a week or two ago. But I'm just happy that James Cameron is going to do another movie that is outside of Avatar, because we've been under the impression since 2009 that he was strictly just going to do Avatar movies, and I was a little bummed out because I love True Lies, and we did a first time watching an episode on The Abyss, and I love that movie. And obviously Terminator is great, so and Titanic. So I like seeing James Cameron do other stuff, and this is exciting for me. And I think this is a great story for him to adapt with his um, background in filmmaking and the way he's going to do it. I think it's going to be very, very next level, and in
He's
3D.
really, he's a big. He likes to, break barriers when it comes to filmmaking. So is he gonna, set off a real bomb, you think?
Who knows? I mean, do you
I
like
like-
my Photoshop image of him?
Yeah, like, is he gonna be in the blast? Like that's gonna be his
probably gonna
cameo. It's like that's how he finally goes out. It's like this is an actual still from the movie.
Oh man,
Um,
you never know
yeah.
with James Cameron. He's a madman, but
he is a crazy guy. That's pretty awesome. I'm super excited that he's doing something else. I mean, you haven't even seen Avatar: Way of Water, and I don't blame you. I guess it's just the oversaturated fucking blockbuster market of film. He's made plenty of money without you, but yeah, I mean, this is amazing. He's one of the best filmmakers ever. I mean, honestly. So it's good to see him do something else. Love it.
Imagine just like a full-on comedy. This guy's just going to work, going about his day, and then you just hear, and then it goes directed by James Cameron.
Oh, man. Well, the thing is, like, True Lies, I know I'm in the minority here. True Lies is in my top 3 of James Cameron movies. I love that movie so much, and it is so goofy and funny. So like
It's a good movie.
he can do comedy. So but I don't think this movie would call for the comedy at all. I don't think this is a funny subject. So James Cameron, Hiroshima.
And speaking of Godzilla -1, I feel like this will be that, but without Godzilla. Just think about it, because like it's gonna be like a grounded story about this guy. I mean, I'm
could be the post
spitballing here, but like about that guy, and it's like these crazy events happening around him. Just no Godzilla.
Yep,
it's gonna be crazy.
All right, well, moving on. Next movie news topic here. You guys kind of already got a taste of it. I just kind of wanted to discuss it once again. Thunderbolts came out last couple of weeks, and when they announced the title Thunderbolts, there was a little asterisk at the end of it, and it was like, what does that mean? And there's even videos like breaking it down, like what it could mean. Didn't watch any of them, but I noticed it in the marketing, and if you Googled it, it's always at asterisk, and
yeah,
it was there all along for a reason, because when Monday morning came, they ripped the little asterisk banner across, and it revealed a new title called The New Avengers. And I was like, okay, that's a cute little marketing stunt. It's a joke. It's a little inside joke at the end of the movie. But they leaned into it because it's on posters on Rotten Tomatoes. I went to the movie theaters this past weekend. It's in the new theater, like marquee display, like the new Avengers. Like but it still is called Thunderbolts on like Letterboxd and IMDb. Like as you search for it, because that is how they marketed the movie. It doesn't. I guess it wouldn't make too much sense to completely rechange the title, but this is just, I don't know. They don't really do this too often. It's been done a couple times in the past, but I don't know. Do I think they were doing this to try to boost second weekend box office sales? But what do you guys think of this whole marketing tactic from Marvel?
I think it's pretty smart. I mean, they're so safe with their just kind of like hiding any detail of the movie. Like all these actors have to sign crazy NDAs and whatnot. But I mean, I saw it I saw it, opening night, Thursday night. And if you've seen the movie, just calling them the Thunderbolts isn't like, it's not really a central part of the story. Like it doesn't feel like it should be the title of them. So it makes sense. Like after you see it, this title makes more sense to me. But they're still just punching, kicking, and shooting. So I don't know if I could call these the Avengers regardless. They aren't my new Avengers. I'll say that.
Okay. Nate, with this new title, The New Avengers, does this get you any more interested to go and check this out?
It's just confusing to me. Just stick with a title. And they're not going to be they're calling them the New Avengers, but
none of them have powers.
They got to be something else.
Kind of.
And I feel like if I was going to go watch this movie, I'd have to watch Black Widow, and I would have to see a bunch of other stuff just to watch this. And so that's mainly why I haven't seen it, is because I don't want to watch something then it's like, oh, I don't recognize where this person's from. Like I know Bucky Barnes, I know that. I know Florence Pugh from the Black Widow movie, same as David Harbour. But I just
Do you recognize the other Captain America guy in the back?
is that a Kurt Russell's son?
I
Yeah,
don't.
that is Wyatt Russell. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
actor.
Is
Yeah, I
is
mean,
he supposed to
he's
be the
in the-
new Cap? Because it's looks stupid.
He was in the TV show. Like I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of Falcon Winter Soldier, and he is like who the government puts up to
Appointed.
be the new Cap. Like they need a new face, and that's essentially what he is. So I don't know, but he's like a troubled Captain America who whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the new title fits this group of people.
Maybe
It's-
the outcasts or
yeah, like I don't think that if people hadn't seen this week 1 or opening weekend or whatever, and then they see this new title, they're like, "Oh, the new Avengers? Shit, maybe I should go see that." And then they see who these people are, who can't do. They literally have no powers, and like half of them are Russian. They're gonna be like, "What?" Like,
unless this movie ends with them getting like nuked and they all get powers somehow. Like Bucky doesn't have powers, but doesn't he have the vibranium arm?
he's got a really strong vibranium arm, yeah. And he's got a motorcycle in this movie. So
We'll have a little discussion / review of Thunderbolts, the new Avengers, later on in the podcast. But I'm kind of in Nate's boat with this movie because I've seen Black Widow, but I never saw any of the TV shows. But I'll kind of summarize my thoughts on if you need to see those or not. But as far as like title changes go, and like in the past, do you guys remember like a really famous movie that had a title change to try to get more people in either as like the box office or to boost DVD Blu-ray sales?
The
That was
minute you said that, I couldn't like. I recollect you talking about this, but I can't pull the movie out.
it's Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah.
Live, Die,
okay.
Repeat. So yeah, this is the Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt movie called Edge of Tomorrow. That's how it was marketed and released as in theaters. John and I went and saw it in theaters, called Edge of Tomorrow. And I remember like we had no expectations for the movie. We're like, this looks like a generic little sci-fi movie with Tom Cruise. Sure, we'll go see it. And the movie was fucking awesome. Like, we were like, this movie's sick. And then box office, it kind of bombed. And then on the DVD Blu-ray release, they called it Live, Die, Repeat. If you pull up the visual, you can see it because I have it on Blu-ray here. They completely tried to change the title of the movie, and even the bottom, Cruise, Blunt, Edge of Tomorrow. Like it makes kind of no sense. And even
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
looks
It's
like
a movie with
there'd be two
a movie with no title.
They don't know what they called it. Both things on the side. Like it's so confusing and weird.
Like, is it a double feature or is it? Yeah.
We'll get into it later, but I will say it is funny how often in these new team up movies that they're like, man, remember back in New York when this happened? It's like they can't let it go that we're in a new movie.
They got to throw in the member
But
berries.
look at where it's a new Avengers, blah blah blah. Just
Yeah.
call it fucking Thunderbolts.
Remember this? So yeah, I wonder if the Blu-ray when they release that, I wonder if there's gonna be some like editions called the New Avengers.
What if there's like a peel and stick thing where it's like Thunderbolts and you peel it away and then it's like magnetic or something and it's the new Avengers?
Yeah.
I'd pay for that. And then
I think they're gonna ditch out the money for physical media. Nah.
But since we are recording this on Sunday night, we do have a little estimate of the box office to see if this even helped in the second weekend. The movie did have a 55% drop. It's looking to make about $33 million second weekend, which I think Marvel would have liked to see it be a little higher than that. That's my assumption.
Up in the 50 plus.
especially considering nothing came out this weekend.
Considering Sinners did way better in their second weekend and third weekend than
word of mouth.
yeah.
People are
Yeah.
tired of Marvel and they want original.
I don't think it really did increase sales for the second weekend. I think kind of people were in Nate's boat, as in like they're a little confused, like what? But anyways, we'll have a review of the New Avengers later on in this episode. But hey, marketing tactics are interesting these days, and yeah, they're doing something new. But
I have speaking of marketing, I have something that I'll show you. Go on to the next story, but I'll show you something that's Thunderbolts related in a second.
All right. Well, moving on to the other story. I think you guys have an idea of this because I sent it to you in the chat a couple weeks ago. But the first trailer was released for The Smashing Machine. This is Dwayne Johnson's attempt at trying to win an Oscar. That's what it looks like from when they announced it, because I think Black Adam kind of humbled him in his in his ego a little bit, and he kind of stepped back, looked at some of the reviews, kind of did what Matthew McConaughey did, and just revamped his career just a little bit and tried to choose some other projects. And this looks like the first attempt at that, because it's with A24. It's a very, niche independent studio. He's never worked with them. It's directed by Benny Safdie, who's from part of the Safdie brothers, did Uncut Gems. But this is his first movie separated from Josh Safdie, his brother. Josh Safdie's actually doing another movie, comes out around the same time with Timothée Chalamet. So it's going to be funny having two Safdie brother movies individually competing for the Oscars this coming year. But hey, we got the first look, the first trailer. He looks like he's really doing something different here. So
I haven't watched the trailer.
Okay, you didn't watch the trailer. Okay,
No.
but I mean, based on these images, I guess you could maybe have a little opinion. But John, you did see the trailer, right?
I did.
What do you think of the first look at Dwayne Johnson trying to win an Oscar here?
Gosh, I mean, it's just crazy to see the transformation, like the makeup. It felt a little bit weird at first, but like I feel like if he can really transform himself into that role, which it seems like he is, he's not Dwayne Johnson for once. Like he's not The Rock. He's this guy, Mark Kerr. And I felt that throughout the trailer. So I mean, if that translates into the movie, he's got a hell of a chance. It's crazy to see these wrestlers turned actors, and he's been doing this for years now, but you very rarely see them take on a role like this. They're trying to be funny, they're trying to be an action star. This is like the perfect role for him to really show what he can do.
Yeah, and I mean, for the three like big wrestlers that have kind of transitioned into almost like A-list Hollywood acting, John Cena, Dwayne Johnson, and Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild to think that, honestly, like Dave Bautista might be like the best actor out of all of them. Regardless, I'm just excited to see Dwayne Johnson do something like this. And from the trailer, I love the vibe of the trailer. It feels very much like a documentary. It's based on a documentary called The Smashing Machine, which came out in the early 2000s. But it's kind of got the same vibe with the camera work and the aesthetic. And there were a couple of shots where I had to go back to be like, wait, was that Dwayne Johnson? And the bottom left corner on the screen, that image of him like fighting with Emily Blunt in an argument. I know he's bald and it looks like him, but for some reason I just didn't recognize him. I'm like, wait, that was Rock? Okay, shit. But then there's other times where he just looked like he's really in like prosthetics and makeup. But I'm really intrigued to see this, and I wonder if he is going to pull it off, like at least a nomination. So yeah. But Nate, what do you think? It's just based on the images and the movie itself.
I'm in. Yeah, I'm so in, because I've seen interviews with The Rock. Like, he was on Joe Rogan, did a whole thing there.
Oh.
And he talks about when he was starting out in WWF, wanting to go to UFC, and how he would run into Ken Shamrock and Mark Kerr and talk to them about going to Pride and making more money that way. And so the fact that he's playing this character to someone who he's known personally in his real life.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
He might not know him, but I'm pretty sure he's brought up like coming across them at working out at gyms and stuff like that when Pride over in Japan was a big mixed martial arts tournament. So if he's putting all of himself in this, I'm on board. I agree with everything you guys have said. I don't want to see The Rock. Like, I get it. He's 6'5", 265 pounds. It's hard for him to not stick out, but in this it works, because Mark Kerr was a beast of a man. Yeah, and I can't think of anyone better to play him, because he even looks like him without the makeup and all that stuff.
The one thing that I did read was apparently Dwayne Johnson as Mark Kerr I mean, Dwayne Johnson's in his 50s. I guess during this period of Mark Kerr's life, he was in his 30s. So it is like a mid 50s guy playing a guy in his 30s. But I think, yeah, with makeup and prosthetics and looking back at Mark Kerr, I mean,
He was jacked.
you couldn't guess that he was in his 30s. He looked
No.
old. Like he looked fucking, yeah, he's huge. And he does look a lot like
So all the
him
drugs you're
in-
putting
in
into
the
your body
images.
at that time.
And that's the other thing. The movie, I guess, is gonna get pretty heavy at times because he did become an opioid addict because of all the pain medication and saw the dangers of combat sport and all that. So I'm sure that's going to be quite heavy and emotional. But yeah, I think from the trailer alone, I'm stoked, excited to see it, and let's see if he can do it.
I think
Nate,
a
if I could-
nomination would be the greatest thing that could happen to this movie. I feel like it might be a stretch depending on how well he actually acts as Mark Kerr.
Yeah,
But a nomination would be like a crowning achievement, I would
and
say.
like the Iron Claw was completely shut up by the Academy, and that was another A24 movie that was very heavy and emotional and dealt with the combat sport and professional wrestling. And yet, no nominations, despite the fact that I think it deserved a ton, especially in the acting categories. But we'll see what happens here. It's crazy to think that we might have the first acting nominations from Dwayne Johnson, and we haven't even talked about this, but Adam Sandler in supporting. He might sneak in for a Noah Baumbach movie coming out at the end of the year. So
Wow,
crazy. Some actors are turning in some good performances these days. So.
he didn't get a nom for Uncut Gems,
Nope. That was rumored. There was a hope, but it didn't happen.
or what's the one that we watched for the pod a while back? The
Punch Drunk Love.
The Mywood stories. No,
Punch Drunk Love.
No.
Oh no.
No, Nate, if I could I would make a bet that this is definitely this movie sits in your top 5, if not number 1, at the end of the year. I mean, you had Iron Claw as number 1.
Well, when does this come out? Because if it's one of those, it's coming out next January.
No, it actually comes out October 3rd, so it's going to be the prime slot of fall season. But then again, is it too early? Could it be kind of
you might
forgotten
have
about?
recency bias for other stuff when all said and done. So that's why I say top 5. But I mean, this is so up your alley, man. I think I could totally see it. If it lands, this could be your movie.
I want to see the Dwayne Johnson Emily Blunt chemistry. Like I want to see it.
Good marital drama.
Authentic.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, and I'm also excited to see Duel Safdie brothers movies coming out at the end of the year because you have Josh Safdie with some, I think it's some like poker or no, it's a ping pong. Marty Supreme. Timothy Chalamet plays some like ping pong like champ.
That's amazing.
Kevin O'Leary's in it. And, I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that and see how different styles they have individually. So I think it's kind of interesting. But moving on to the last movie news topic here. That's it.
More Thunderbolts.
That is the last movie news topic because we do have a good amount of reviews to get into later on in the podcast. But
have you guys seen the Jurassic World Rebirth trailer?
Is there another one?
I mean, I've seen the same trailer 100 times in every movie I go and see, but
with Scarlett Johansson in it.
Yeah.
That one actually looks interesting because they're going back to the original park.
To the island. Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested to see that.
Yeah, me too. That's up there for me in terms of summer box office. There's a lot of good stuff that's on the slate.
I'm very excited for that because I've seen the trailer.
I might be seeing it on Memorial Day. Who knows?
If you're lucky, I hope you do.
Fingers. July though, that's when Jurassic World Rebirth comes out. But July is insanely stacked because it's like the first week you have Jurassic World, the next week you have Superman. Then the following week you have I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot with Eddington, the Ari Aster movie.
Is Jennifer Love Hewitt in it?
The last week you have Fantastic Four: The First Steps. It's like Jesus, like boom, 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 just like all these big blockbusters. And
that's how it should be.
Interesting, intriguing movies. That could be cool. So July is a good month to be a movie fan. So we'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about. But
oh my God, Jennifer Love Hewitt is in the movie.
Yes, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yes, bro.
Ryan
Also,
Felipe?
and the chick from the studio is in it. The Hawaiian looking chick. What's her name?
Oh yeah, Chase Soy Wonders.
She's in the movie, and Madeline Klein from Outer Banks is in it as well, and Knives Out too.
Oh, have not seen that.
Has a good, decent little cast there. But we do got to move on because we do have the ultimate question here.
Black and white, 1 and 2. It's Nate's choice. What you gonna do? Fight or flight, hot or cool. It's Nate's choice. Tell me what you gonna choose.
Choose. What are you gonna choose, Nate? What's the ultimatum this week?
It's time.
Does Nate look like Mufasa all of a sudden? Never
Well,
saw Mufasa, by the way.
today, in this choice, I'm going to pitch a scenario. Say a mob or a gang is coming after you, and you need one of these two people to protect you and save your life. Who would it be? John Wick or James Bond? You need someone to protect you. This isn't necessarily their movies will be deleted from existence, blah, 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 blah. But if you're being hunted, who do you want to have your back? Who will give you the best shot at living a extended life?
James Bond versus who?
John Wick.
Jeez, that's
There's
a
a
tough
bunch
one.
of aspects to it.
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is the resources that they both have at their disposal. I mean, James Bond has the entirety of MI6, whereas John Wick has a lot of underground resources, safe houses,
The Continental.
like he has a lot of people from his past that would drop anything to help him or even like die for him at a moment's notice. He's also like, I would say, a little bit more of a superhero than James Bond. Like James Bond, one bullet, he's dead. John Wick, he got shot a lot of times, fell down like a million stairs and was okay. So like I feel like he's more like of an underground superhero than James Bond even is. So
But then you've also got to think James Bond is like a master with espionage.
and he gets all the women.
Huh?
He gets all the women too and has cool cars like Aston Martins. Like that's fun. Like if he's driving you around in an Aston Martin, I don't think John Wick has that at his disposal. Like cool.
Nobody
English,
has that car that they took.
Right.
The thing is,
Like,
we've seen like 26, 27, however many James Bond movies where he always is just like going up against the bad guy. He has a bunch of gadgets and he's always
got a gal.
Yeah, he's always got a gal by his side. And she honestly usually dies. Doesn't really have a good reputation with keeping people close to him alive. So with John Wick, I have seen 4 movies of that motherfucker outliving like an entire city coming after him. Like he has like the army after him. He has every single person, every hitman after this one person, and John Wick still never dies. Like he's always going to get the headshot. He might get stabbed, he might get punched a couple of times, but he's got drive and he's got determination
And power, and he stays hungry, he devours.
Yeah. Put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours.
What's ours? Rock.
Rock. It's not Smash Machine. So I mean, I as intrigued as I am with all of James Bond's gadgets, and like maybe if all these assassins are coming after us, and James Bond just like whips out this little like watch and he just like presses a button and a bunch of smoke comes out, and it's like great, that lasted 5 seconds and we're still here and they're coming after us. Like I'd rather have John Wick with his fucking guns like ready to go, just boom boom boom, they're all dead, and he just gets into a car and we go, and he drives at 100 miles per hour through the streets of France and we're alive. And he also loves dogs. Like fucking A.
But think like this, what if John Wick, he has a safe space that he can go to?
Does he?
If he goes to the Continental, nothing can happen there.
Yeah, but that's been proven to not really be the case. And
nothing's supposed to happen there, because like there's like an unwritten rule where like you don't fight at the Continental.
But people love to break that rule, apparently.
Yeah,
and there's nowhere safe for James Bond because he's just his own agent.
Well,
No, he lay low in Mexico.
If he
for a
disappears,
while.
they'd have to find you guys.
so you're saying that you
On
think James
Wick, I
Bond would be
feel like
better
is
at
more
helping
rogue.
us?
He's more susceptible to making mistakes.
You posed the question as if you had a bunch of people coming after you, who do you want to protect you, right? Like that is like okay.
But that
And if that is the question, 1000% John Wick.
You make a good point, though, Nate. I see what you're saying. I do feel like James Bond would be better at putting you into hiding. Like, he would have more resources at his disposal. Like, he could just fly you to fucking Australia if you wanted to, no problem, no questions asked, on a private plane, like an untraceable plane. I don't see John Wick with that capability. He never really leaves that city. He couldn't even keep his dog alive. So I see what you're saying there. His wife died of a terminal illness, so it's not like he let her die. He couldn't save her from that, but he's not really known for protecting anybody other than himself. It's really tough,
It's never
though. But
been the mission.
no, you're right. He's just been trying to stay alive. He's John Wick, take down the mob. So if anything, he has the most experience doing that because he's killed hundreds of people with gunjitsu, and he did his own stunts, Keanu Reeves. So I think I have to go with John Wick. I just think, given the situation that you proposed of the mob itself, which James Bond rarely goes up against the mob, I would feel more comfortable.
I said that as a generic term. It doesn't have to be just the mob. It'd be any sort of crime organization, or like in Skyfall, you had it was Casino Royale. You had like Le Chiffre. I think that's what his name was. The
guy with henchmen,
character.
essentially. It's like, it's like, so I mean, I guess it's not that much different in terms of the villains you'd be going up against, but I still think John Wick I would feel safer with him at my side. Personally.
But if I could job shadow, I would choose James Bond. Oh my god, I'd love to hang out with James Bond and just go to a poker game and watch him just like outsmart everybody. And then
I mean, if the question is like, who do you want to hang out with more, it's James Bond for sure.
Oh yeah,
like that's
I don't know if I'd feel safer with John Wick because I feel like he gets into more dangerous situations. So like I could die.
Well, it's funny because the whole first movie, like, he's retired. He doesn't want to do that. But when in Rome, when the opportunity presents itself where he has no choice, he has to fight his way out of it. But he doesn't want to kill people. He's just so good at it that he has to.
And he can.
And he
always beats them. So
James Bond, I bet you John Wick's kill count is more in 4 movies than James Bond in all of his movies.
100%.
Yeah, because they throw thousands of people at him, and it's unrealistic.
I think it increases by like the hundreds each movie. It's insane.
Unless James Bond is responsible for some sort of like horrible disaster, like a nuke goes off and he couldn't prevent it and he puts it on himself. I don't know. Maybe that happened in one of the movies.
Yeah, but Nate, if you had like 50 crazy people coming after you, who would you pick to protect you?
After all. Seems like
I haven't seen the John Wick movies, so knowing as far as story and backstory and everything like that, it's something about the confidence and the swagger of James Bond where I would never feel in danger, if that makes sense, where John Wick doesn't really hide that very well. He's more or less, we need to get out of here, or we're being trapped, where James Bond is very tactical. He's kind of 2 steps ahead further than everyone else. I think just to be different, I'll go with James Bond. He throws me in a nice Aston Martin. We go. We have access to M and all the gadgets, the underground bunkers. But John Wick I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, for a good choice, because this is a dilemma that anyone could be proposed to. If you needed someone to protect you, like you've seen those memes, pick 2 of these characters to protect you, the rest are coming to kill you.
Oh.
That's kind of where I was thinking with this, is I'm like 2 people that are the elite of the elite as far as weapons training. I think James Bond might have the espionage side, but John Wick has like brute force and determination. But just to be different, I'll go with James Bond. But granted, I haven't seen any of the John Wick movies. So
for what it's worth, if I have James Bond by my side and John Wick is coming to kill me, I think that John Wick would kill James Bond in that case. So that's why I want John Wick. If James Bond is coming to kill me, John Wick's gonna fucking kill him right away. No problem.
I don't know. I don't think you're giving Bond enough credit.
Maybe it's recency bias, but then again, I haven't seen a John Wick movie in 3 years, or James Bond.
Or what if James Bond and John Wick teamed up and just fought Russia or something?
Or John Cena from Trainwreck.
Oh my God.
Or John Cena from Rick
In
and
his
Stimpy.
tiny whities.
Yeah.
that's
Amy Schumer broke up with me.
yeah.
It's okay,
no.
John. Anyway.
And on that note, let's get into some new releases here, motherfuckers.
Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases. Yes, the new releases.
Okay.
Anyways,
Jesus
back
Christ.
to the channel and your boy John. This is the segment where we talk about new releases and our thoughts on movies that just came out recently.
Yes, that's exactly what's going on here.
What's the segment?
That is a segment.
So yeah, no, it's called new releases, and we're talking about those with our thoughts on said films.
Okay.
To another segment after that.
At the end of the last Those Movie Dudes podcast, we looked ahead at the next 2 weeks, and I was kind of in disbelief. I was like, really? This is the lineup of movies that we have? At the time, it was Thunderbolts, Clown in a Cornfield, Fight or Flight, Another Simple Favor. We're like, all right, well, we'll just see what we watch. Like, we'll see what we end up seeing. It turns out we all had nothing to do because we watched like all of the movies that came out over the last couple of weeks. So we do have a good amount of movies to get into. I figured let's just kick it off with kind of the big one.
Another
First
Simple
up-
Fate. Oh.
Oh no. No, yeah. The new Avengers, Thunderbolts. We all saw this movie.
Nope.
Yes, I saw it opening night 2
Oh.
weeks ago.
I,
Or
you
1
know
week
I
ago, 1
didn't
week
see
ago.
it.
Yeah, I know. I know you didn't see it.
I'm like, why are you so surprised?
I had no plans to actually go and see this movie. But it came out and had some decent reviews. Oh, you got a poster? What is that?
So
Pan America?
my friend Tyler brought this down. TFD Tyler, shout out. He works at Harley Davidson, and they apparently have these all over the dealership for this motorcycle that's in the movie for 30 seconds that Winter Soldier is driving.
Oh, cool.
So that they're really trying to market this film
Sell
in
it.
some very interesting ways, is what I gathered. But I was also impressed at how he got this down to Florida and it doesn't have any creases in it
Yeah.
until
good-
now.
Good for him. But like I was saying, I had no plans to really go and see this, but I saw the reviews. It had an 83% Rotten Tomatoes, 94% audience score, 7.6 on IMDb, and everybody, like every single review that I saw, had the same phrase: Marvel is so back. We are so back. Marvel is so back. I'm like, oh my God, okay, I get it. Like they make a good movie out of like finally in like 3 years. I guess they're back, but I don't know. Like Nate was saying earlier, as in like he hadn't seen the shows and some other previous movies. Kind of in the same boat. I never saw Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I know this like new Captain America, like that's his introduction. I did see Black Widow, so I know Florence Pugh's character and David Harbour's character, and I guess Taskmaster, whatever her name is, the other person that's on the poster for in the movie for 3 seconds, and yeah, Bucky. So like I knew of the characters, but to be honest, Nate, I just watched a YouTube video that was like everything you need to know about Thunderbolts before you see it, and it was just like 5 minutes, and boom, I'm like, okay, like I got a general gist of who all these guys are, and I had a kind of sense, anyways. So like that's how I went into the movie, and I wasn't lost whatsoever. Like it really isn't that confusing, at least for me. As a casual Marvel fan and someone that hasn't really watched the shows, I was not lost. But
They're
Yeah.
just people who punch, shoot, and kick, and they happen to be from Russia, and you can kind of divulge that they happen to be from like the Black Widowverse. It's not really that hard to figure out. I don't think that the Taskmaster or whatever and the girl that can teleport have been in anything
Black
before?
Widow.
They were in Black Widow?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's basically like a Black Widow movie with the guy from Captain America Winter Soldier or whatever, or Falcon Winter Soldier. That's
Yeah.
our lineup.
And all I
Okay.
really knew about him was like he wanted to be a part of like the team, but I guess Bucky and Falcon were like, no, like we don't want you, like fuck you. And then he killed a guy with a shield, and
Okay.
he was like ridiculed because of that.
He's like blacklisted and his wife left him and stuff. Okay.
But all these people are essentially just kind of like almost like the reject / B team that like kind of missed out on being part of like the actual team, or like they just aren't good enough to be part of the team, and it's them on like their own little mission here, trying to go find like the most powerful superhero of all time, as in this guy's named Sentry. So that was what I was a little surprised. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Like, I don't know how we're gonna go with this character moving forward, because he is like essentially just godlike, has every power. Like he's like Superman for Marvel, but
Omni-Man.
Yeah.
Been on an invincible kick lately. Yeah, I mean, I guess Nate hasn't seen it, but going into this, I had really zero expectations other than just kind of being excited because there were positive reviews, and that hasn't really been the case in the past several Marvel movies. It's just like when it comes to these movies, when most of the characters don't have powers, it's like just put it on Disney Plus, because like that's where Daredevil thrives. That's why it's so good there, because like he's in his own separate kind of universe and this and that, and I guess just purely due to the villain, that is technically Julia Louis-Dreyfus in this movie and what she creates, is so like powerful. It kind of makes sense on the big screen, but I see why people like the movie. I do. I think there's a lot of good rapport and jokes and character development, and they are fun characters. The dialogue's good, and it reminded me a lot of like Suicide Squad, with how they're just kind of like thrown together into this situation, whether they like it or not. And it kind of does have like a pretty strong and like deep underlying message throughout this movie. Like you'll see when you see the movie, but it's like, stay away from the darkness, rely on your friends, and this and that, and like stick together and everything will be fine. Like good messaging, good stuff like that. So it wasn't like surface level bullshit. Like it was a very strong film. But again, it's just punching, kicking, and shooting. It's like am I going to sit there for 2 hours and like if Captain or if Thor came down here with his hammer, he could kill them all in 5 seconds. So that's what I'm like. I know what universe you're in, and it's just convenient that it's just working out for you in this situation.
I guess the one thing that separated movies like with this movie here was that it didn't feel like just them on a soundstage in front of a green screen, just like with a bunch of just crazy visual noise. Just like it felt like it felt grounded. It felt like they were on real locations. Like they went out to the real world and shot this movie, like it, and they marketed that too with like they got the team from like A24, and they got the director of the Netflix series Beef, which was really good. And he directed Paper Towns, like that was his other movie he did.
Yes, he did. Shout out Cara Delevingne.
He does movies that are more like character driven, and that's what this movie needed, because I thought that the character work here was really well done. And like John mentioned, like the themes with the mental health, like I didn't really expect them to kind of go there, and especially with like the darkness and the void, like that was really powerful stuff. And there was some moments, especially with Florence Pugh, like she is the heart and soul of the movie. She is fantastic in this movie. I mean, she is so good. But I'm kind of with you with like I had fun with the movie, but like I still kind of had an empty experience at the end of the day, as in just like, all right, like it was another Marvel movie. I enjoyed it. It felt a little different than the previous, like when they're in space and all singing and song. And like I'm glad they're getting away from that. And Russell Crowe and Chris Hemsworth and his tidy whities. Like I just like I'm done with that side of Marvel, and I'm happy they're kind of making some more grounded and gritty stuff here. And all the performances are great, and yeah, it was a good movie. I just I'm with you though, as in like I didn't it didn't like wow me or anything. I wasn't like really like surprised by it, but I had a good time with it.
Yeah,
So,
I
that's what
I
can
think it
say
was.
about it.
I think we're in agreement. It's just like it plays to its strengths for sure. I don't I wouldn't recommend this. I wouldn't be like, go check out Thunderbolts. Like it's like you can't miss it. It's I don't think it's a we're so back situation for Marvel. I kind of disagree with that. I think in some aspects, sure it is, because like they do lack in strong character development in individual films. Like literally they have to drag it out over 4 or 5 movies, and I think they do a pretty solid job here. And I think they do the typical, like, it is dark and gritty, but they do also like poke fun at the fact that these people don't have any powers. Like that's funny. And Red Guardian was kind of a fun character, because it's just like David Harbour, and he's like past his prime, and he just wants to get back in there and fight crime again, and he's thinking about the glory days, and it like cuts back to photos of him basically being the Russian Captain America. So like there's some fun parts of it and endearing things, but again, I would never watch this again. I just wouldn't.
I
So
don't know. I mean, yeah,
I
if
have
you
a hard time believing these guys could run the movie. Like I don't like Florence Pugh is the only one that I could really see that could be a lead. But everyone else just feels too much like side characters. Like even in the Avengers movies, Bucky was kind of a side character, and then everyone else is new.
he is here too.
Black Widow, to a point, even though she is like in the original Avengers, she's in that shot. But it's just hard to believe these characters running their own movie. But do you think that the grades, the percentages that they have, is because of the genuine like good that the movie is, or do you think it's based on the kind of crap that Marvel's put out in the past, where this is just getting so much praise because it's better than the other
both.
ones?
It's both.
It's
I
like
think
recency bias
94
mixed with it's actually a decent story.
Yeah. I think it's reasonable. I mean, just personally, I think 83 is a little bit. It's crazy high. I think it's around 70 would be more realistic for me.
But like for me, like I would have been probably the one to give it a rotten score. Spoiler, I'm not. Like I gave it a 3 out of 5. So like my grade would be fresh. Like I would contribute to the high grade there, because it's a good movie. It's just like, I don't know. Like it's hard to remember like what are the best Marvel movies at this point. Like the original Iron Man. Like I don't even love the original Avengers that much.
Guardians
Guardians of the Galaxy. Like those are all like decent,
Winter
very,
Soldier.
very good
Winter
movies.
Soldiers, Civil War is really good. All the Spider-Man movies are really good.
I feel like over time,
Infinity
just
War
like
and Endgame.
I've just like, I don't know, I've just come down so hard on these movies. But
There's so many of them.
well,
Like,
we've also
comparing
it's
them
become
to
so
these-
saturated. It's just like I kind of get like beat by beat, but I will say like this movie is very simple and kind of contained. Like there, not a lot really does happen. Like they kind of go to a few locations, but it's not like an Avengers movie that spans like across a whole bunch of places. So marketing as the Avengers is like, oh, this is like the smallest little Avengers movie possible. But
I mean, I will say for the record, since 2021, like the lineup of films is very subpar. Like I think maybe 2 or 3 of these have been like, yeah, that was a great movie. It's like Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. You
so
got
the
Spider-Man.
only ones I haven't seen is the new Captain
Multiverse
America,
Madness.
Brave New World, and I still have never seen the Eternals. But
Eternals.
I've seen
Yeah,
everything else, but I also have not seen the MCU TV shows. So
And you don't have to. Eternals is
YouTube
interesting
videos.
just for the sake of the lore that it brings in, but the movie itself is just super forgettable.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a return for Marvel. I personally don't. I think
But as
maybe
far as like
Fantastic Four
Thor:
could
The
be.
Dark World and the Marvels, and I guess even Brave New World, which I still haven't seen, this
Terrible.
movie compared to all those, yeah, I mean, I guess this one it represents quality apparently. So yeah, I would say in that regard, it's worth watching. But you could easily wait until Disney Plus to check it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I went 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
I also gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was
Alright.
good, but it just, again, forgettable. And I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four because I think that one
Me
will
too.
actually be the return for Marvel, not Thunderbolts.
We'll see. Wait, Nate, you're not going to see Thunderbolts. That's my guess. That's my assumption.
Disney Plus.
Well,
Watch
the
it on
thing is, though, is like maybe if I just watch the Black Widow movie, I would be okay. Because as far as I know, Shang-Chi's not in this.
Yeah, I think Black
And-
Widow is kind of like the only one you need to see. Yeah.
Just so I can be introduced to Florence Pugh and David Harbour.
Yeah.
Then I would probably check it out. But if I miss it in theaters, yeah, I'll just stream watch it one day.
But you will go and see the Fantastic Four.
Yes, because I saw the original Fantastic Four in theaters with my sister back in the day. And it's stupid, cheesy fun, but I loved it. And even Rise of the Silver Surfer was kind of fun.
So there we go. I think that might even be a testament from the non-Marvel fans. Like that might get in the whole audience of people that like have not gone to see all these other movies like Thunderbolts and these last like 3 years of Marvel. Fantastic Four might get that audience of like what Nate just said. Like, oh yeah,
I know the
Fantastic Four.
characters.
I'll go
like
see
I know
it.
their names and whatnot.
And this doesn't really tie in to anything previously that MCU has done, but I guess it will definitely contribute going forward. But
I will say I didn't see the after credit scene for Thunderbolts, but I know what happened. So maybe you will see some of these characters pop up in that movie. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, moving on to a movie that all 3 of us did go out and see. We went out and saw Clown in a Cornfield.
Oh, watch out!
One of the silliest titles of the year. I thought it was a joke movie to begin with, but it was it's real. But it's based on a very popular book that came out a couple of years ago that got like a lot of good reviews and it immediately got picked up by a Hollywood studio to make a movie. Here it is, Clown in a Cornfield. I think Shudder is the distributor, so it'll be on Shudder maybe in like the next month or two. But I was surprised to see get a theatrical release, especially playing near me. But I didn't know anything about it going into it. I just saw that it premiered at some festivals, and people were saying like, "Hey, it's actually like a lot of fun. It has some cool kills, has some fun little commentary. Like, check it out. Don't sleep on it." So that's all I knew about it. Didn't see a trailer. Didn't even read a plot synopsis. Just went in and saw Clown in a Cornfield. How about you guys?
That's about what I did too. I knew nothing about this movie other than Spencer. I was like texted him like, what should I see? Because I don't know what's coming out. I saw Thunderbolts. He's like Clown in a Cornfield or Fight or Flight or this other movie. So I went and saw this today, and I brought my popcorn, brought my Dunkin' Donuts in there, and knew nothing about the movie. No trailers, no nothing, and yeah, that's all I knew going into it. Clown in a Cornfield.
Clown in a Cornfield. Nate, what did you know
What about
about
you,
it?
Nate?
I knew the title.
Yeah,
I just remember
perfect.
hearing it, and then I checked, and I was like, "Oh, it's playing in Orono. I should probably go see that." So I went to Bangor early, played some disc golf, got some food,
Nice.
and then went and saw Clown in a Cornfield. It was just me and one other dude in the theater. I kind of was tempted halfway through to just slowly look over my shoulder and stare at him.
You just sat right next to him.
Yeah,
Squeak,
just
squeak.
hey, what's going on, pal?
You just happen to have you just look at him and you put your nose on.
I'm dressed up as Bam Bam.
Start eating his popcorn.
You fucking
But yeah,
kill him with
no,
a chainsaw.
I knew the title. The title speaks for itself. Yeah,
They're in the cornfield.
there is a cornfield. I was kind of nervous at one point because I'm like, they've only shown the cornfield once, and we're about 35 minutes into this movie, and then we get more of it towards the end. But
I like movies that make things that I wouldn't normally think scary. Like, I don't look at a cornfield and be like, oh, that's spooky. But now I kind of do.
Children of the Corn, then.
I have not seen Children of the Corn. I guess it's definitely a concept that's been done before, but have they ever put clowns in a cornfield until now?
No, but there was that big craze where clowns were just popping up everywhere. What,
That's
5-10
true.
years ago?
That was a thing,
I'm
wasn't
surprised
it?
they didn't make this movie sooner. and then
Maybe
it
they
took
did
till
make it back then.
2025
It just
to
was
do.
shelved until now. Who knows?
I think the book came out in like 2021 or something. Like it's pretty like fresh on the market.
Why
but-
is this a book? Who wrote this book? It's
I
just like,
prefer this poster though. With the
yeah, that's a
clown
pretty
in the
cool. I have
box.
that.
Oh,
on my-
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I also knew that this is directed by Eli Craig, and we all are a big fan of his previous, not his previous movie, but a movie that he made called Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Just a
Mm.
really, really funny horror comedy. Definitely go and check that one out if you haven't. But I'd say this one leans kind of more into the horror genre with like the typical horror tropes and like setting up the scenes. But there's a lot of comedy in this movie that I kind of was suspecting to happen because of this past movie. But I actually did think the jokes were pretty decent. Like I was laughing a good amount during this movie. But the movie's just a lot of fun. And the other thing about this movie that I really liked is I kind of cared about the characters. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I actually kind of cared, and I actually found myself like a little surprised in the middle of the movie being like, why do I actually care so much like about this character? Like I hope she finally does find like peace. But anyway,
Like
I cared
bummed
about
out
the
when they
main
died a little bit.
character. I cared about her, like her and her dad.
Yeah,
coming to this
exactly.
New town, but all the other kids, like the guy that she's kind of liking, I thought he was pretty good, but I thought the other ones were kind of throwaways. They were just there to.
I'm going to
be
talk
the-
about the dad and the daughter, but yeah, I get, yeah.
Yeah, they
You
were
cared
the-
about somebody, is what you cared about somebody, which is
Yeah,
good.
The main characters, yeah.
But there's points like where they're at this party and they see somebody come out of the cornfield and then fall down, and they're like joking, like, "Oh, this is part of the movie that they're doing. Oh, look at this!" And they're tossing around a severed head.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
they're
it's just
like,
corn syrup, because their whole town is built on corn syrup for some reason.
and this, yeah, the girl just goes down and goes, "I don't feel a pulse." No one questions like, "Oh, are you doing it right?" They're just like, "Oh my god, she's dead." So it did fall under the horror tropes, but it was a quick, breezy movie that just it did everything that it needed to do for a Shudder movie, and I had a lot of fun with it. I liked the main character a lot. I was kind of freaked out though, because at one point it goes from one clown to many. Ooh.
Oh yeah, all the clowns started to come out of the cornfield with their weapons.
Yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
should have an asterisk here under next to clown in a cornfield, because it's not just one clown. I agree with you guys. I had a ton of fun at this movie. Like I didn't know what I was getting into. I agree that I did give a shit about Quinn, played by Katie Douglas from Ginny and Georgia. Which Spencer didn't realize, but I messaged him during the film and was like, "You don't recognize her?" And he was like, "No." So, anyway, she was great in the movie. The dad was great in the movie. I guess I don't find clowns that menacing, but what I did find really fun in this movie was like the dialogue on like Gen Z and how like adults are just like hate change and are just like, God, these fucking kids, it's always the kids' fault. And then they create this whole like clown hierarchy and about around it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, then there's a scene where like the kid, she doesn't know how to drive stick. Oh God, I should have listened to my dad. And like they don't know how to use a rotary phone, and it's just like funny. Like it is typical like horror movie tropes, but in a different way. Like she didn't drop the keys, she just doesn't know how to drive stick. Like that's funny. So and like they didn't have service to call for help because they're in the middle of fucking Missouri in a cornfield, obviously.
Mhm.
So like it was hilarious, and the clowns were ridiculous, and it made sense, and her friends are despicable like Mean Girls, and it's just funny. And I like that they're trying to like it's basically like Boy Who Cried Wolf situation. Like nobody believes them because they're bored in their own town and they're making these crazy videos about clown murders, and just a lot of fun. I
I
liked
like
it.
how they revealed that, where they did that shoot where they pranked her and he
Yeah.
came out, but then she looks at the video afterwards and goes, "Yo, who's the other friendo?" And
Who's that
everyone's
guy?
like, "I have no idea."
I kind
couldn't tell ya.
of I kind of liked how the first half of the movie is kind of set up like a clown version of Scream. Like as in, like who's the killer? It's like, oh, there's like a killer amongst us that's killing off the gang. And a lot of movies have kind of modeled the whole Scream format. I mean, this movie really did remind me of a movie that just came out called Hard Eyes, just in the way they kind of blended the genre of comedy and actually giving a shit about the characters and with some really gnarly kills and gore. So I'd say, like, if you were a fan of Hard Eyes, definitely check this one out. And if you are scared of clowns, definitely check this one out. I'm with John. Clowns don't give, like, I don't give a shit about clowns.
Yeah,
they do absolutely nothing to me. So like the Terrifier movies, the It Chapter 1 and 2, this one, like it's literally just it's very silly to
It's
me.
just a guy in a suit to me. Like, it's who are you? It's scarier that you have a chainsaw than the fact that you're a clown.
So I like that they leaned into like the silliness and like there's a couple of moments they don't really call back to it too much. They did it, I think, in like 2 scenes, but like right after a clown just like brutally murders a teenager, it just slowly walks away and just has like little squeaky feet,
Squeak.
like squeak, squeak, squeak. But like it doesn't.
That was so funny, dude.
Like,
Oh my God.
it's really silly. And like, but like, I mean, there was no squeaky feet like as the clown approached the character, just when it left.
not.
Like it just, yeah, just for the
There's
comedy.
blood on their shoes now.
Yeah,
That makes that creates the squeaky sound.
but-
And the whole I mean, the whole movie, it almost was reminiscent of The Monkey a little bit too, because like they have the MacGuffin of the box, and like of course they're gonna do that shit where the box just kind of shows up randomly, and like as a viewer, you know, oh shit, like that's the calling card for the clown that's gonna show up. But like we know that it was, you know, quote unquote, who was doing it. So you're telling me that they're just walking around with like a handful of clown boxes and they're just placing them there to fuck with these kids?
maybe.
That's ridiculous. That's a
Maybe
little
not.
ridiculous to me.
I mean, I feel like what is actually revealed is even more ridiculous than that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Hate your generation.
I don't
These
wanna
gosh
spoil it,
darn
but,
kids. It's like a
yeah.
Scooby Doo episode. It
This
was
is
like a
the- yeah.
Scooby Doo movie.
Yes.
Like truly, it was.
A very
Basically.
hard R Scooby Doo movie with clowns.
Scooby
Yeah.
Doo, clown in a
pretty much.
cornfield.
They even say that in the movie. I think they even say like, "What is it, Scooby Doo?" Or like, I feel like they even reference that. I could be making that up, but
It feels very Scooby Doo esque. It definitely does.
um,
I'll give my final thoughts. I mean, I had a lot of fun. I literally just saw it this afternoon. Great movie to go see at 12 p.m. The worst thing about the movie was I've never experienced this, but I've had a lot of annoying theater goers. I thought I was in there alone, this and that, whatever. And then all I could hear a couple times throughout the movie was a guy blowing his nose really loud. And I'm like, I'm shockingly never heard that one before, where a guy's just blowing his nose really fucking loud in a horror movie where there's a lot of quiet scenes.
I hate those
Either way, it
people.
didn't bother. It didn't take me out of it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
okay. I am actually gonna match your 3.5 out of 5. I really
not
like this movie. I had a ton of fun with it. I like the
Alrighty.
comedy. I like the kills. It's predictable and like you kind of see where it's going. But nevertheless, as like a little Shudder movie that made its way into theaters, I had a great time with it. And I could easily see myself rewatching this during the Halloween season, which brings me to say, like, why didn't this movie come out in October? Like, what, May for this movie? This is a perfect Halloween time movie. Just to go, like,
sure.
have some fun, have some laughs, get some cool kills, have a bloody good time. So I hope maybe they do some good marketing around Halloween because that's the best time to watch it. So yeah, Clown in the Cornfield, 3.5 out of 5. Really liked it.
Booyah.
Awesome. Yeah, nice. A good horror film. That's kind of happened a lot lately, actually. Good to see that. Nate?
Hi.
We're an audio podcast. What is your final thoughts and a grade on Clown in the
Oh,
Cornfield?
I thought we were transitioning. No, I also gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So
Oh,
crazy, right?
shit.
Crazy.
Does that
Right?
mean-
Oh wait,
wait,
have we? Wait.
Whoa, we haven't had to do this in a long time.
Given a movie the same grade since like I don't know, a year or two. Wait,
It's been a long. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, we haven't done push-ups in a long time, and that's why like I question whether or not to wear pants during the show because like it doesn't happen. But I did
really
wear
sore
pants
right now. I don't know if I can even do that many push-ups right now.
How many for
We'd
Clown
only
in the
do
Cornfield?
9.
Why 9?
Well,
3
3,
and a
3,
half,
and
3 and a half,
3.
3 and a
If you want to do 10 and a half, that's
10 and a
adding all
half. I think that's fair. Actually, that's
Alright.
12. That's wait, 3,339. Oh yeah, 10.5. Okay, let's do it.
Uh,
I keep the music on. Yeah, so that's 10.5 push-ups brought to you by those movie dudes, because we all had the same score for Recliner at Cornfield. Mother's Day, 2025.
All right, and thank God Nate and I don't have the same grade for the next movie we're going to talk about here, The Surfer.
we might.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about this one.
We will not. Yeah, so this is a movie that randomly came out along with Thunderbolts, and I thought, like, I think even the end of the last podcast, John was like, "Oh, you can't forget about The Surfer," and I was like, "Yeah, that movie's not even going to come out anywhere near us." Sure enough, came out in my local theater.
Same. If you want to call it local.
True.
Locals only.
But yeah, so the weekend of Thunderbolts, I went out and saw The Surfer instead because it was playing in the biggest auditorium that they had. And I was like, that's weird. That has to be a mistake. Because Thunderbolts was in like a tiny auditorium down the hall, and that was completely sold out. I was seeing a Nicolas Cage movie in the biggest theater by myself. It was perfect.
That's amazing.
The Surfer.
How does that happen?
The weirdest, most like obscure movie that came out of the Cannes Film Festival from last year. Didn't expect to even see it, let alone in a theater. So I had to take advantage of it. I went and saw it, and I kind of love this movie, but I know Nate has a different opinion.
No, it's just like it's just odd. Like, I get what they were doing. There was some really cool cinematography. I do agree with that. Like, there was some shots and some fades, and some of the music choices and sound choices were decent. But I was just kind of bored, to be honest. Like, it was a decent concept, but I didn't really believe it that much. And it's just Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. He wants to surf. He's determined to surf here because, he's going to buy a house and his son's going to move out there with him. Like, this is going to happen. And then he just
locals only.
Slowly go. Yeah. Don't surf. Don't live here. Don't surf here. Like, okay.
And yeah,
I'm still going to, but
it's a really simple premise. Yeah, just Nick Cage. He wants to surf at the beach that he grew up surfing, but it's raided by these locals that have kind of started a cult down on the beach, and they refuse to let him surf. So he camps out in his car up in the parking lot and kind of waits for his right time to try to go and surf. But for me, I mean, seeing something this like singular and obscure and mind-numbing like on the biggest screen was it might be like my favorite movie going experience of the year so far, because the movie is just watching Nicolas Cage suffer for 99 minutes. It's him going through hell, and I hate beaches to begin with. Like, they are already a form of hell to me, so like I felt trapped there with him the entire time. And the director puts the audience in the same mind state of Nicolas Cage as like, you don't know what's real, you don't know what's not, you don't know what's a dream, you don't know really anything. You are just as lost and confused as our lead character is. So I really liked kind of going on that journey with him, despite the fact that it is painful and it is like you are suffering with him. But the dreamlike quality of like the cinematography and the editing, it kept me engaged throughout. It was just so different and unique that I just was like really just having a great experience watching this movie. And Nicolas Cage, like he holds it together the entire time just with his performance. He has moments where he gets to unleash the cage, and it is worth the price of admission. Eat the rat. Eat the rat. Eat the rat. But I will say, like, it does become quite repetitive in the aspect of just like you're watching him suffer, and you kind of see where it's going with this like toxic masculinity theme, and like with the cult, and you want to kind of just get to the point, and it kind of maybe, you know, drifts a little bit here and there, but regardless, this was a trip. Whether it was a good trip or bad trip, that's up to you, but it was a good trip for me. So I went. I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5, but I want to give this a 4 so bad just because of how like singular it was. But yeah, I love this movie.
I have a question. Did it have any relation to this movie?
Lifeguard with Lifeguard with Kristen Bell. No,
The 2013 Lifeguard movie?
no.
I
where
might
she
have
falls
liked
in
what
love
it
with
reminds
a
me of.
16-year-old. No,
Oh. Okay.
That's
No,
okay.
it has nothing to do with that.
That does happen in the movie. That was weird. Damn it. Okay. It felt less weird when I was 18. Okay. Moving on.
I significantly lower. I gave it a 2 out of 5.
That's
Like,
low for you.
I understood, like, watching these people just slowly make him go insane. Like, no, we don't recognize you. No, you didn't give me your watch. My dad gave me this watch. And just the mind fuckery of it, I thought was pretty intense because it made you feel like, wait a minute, how long has he actually been there? But with it being Nicolas Cage and just being so over the top and just so bizarre, a lot of the time, like Spencer said, it just felt repetitive, and you don't really leave this parking lot that he's in. He like goes to the beach a couple times. That's it. And so I'm like, oh, I need a change of scenery, a change of pace. And so I was happy to see this in theaters. It was there. I'm like, cool. It's an experience that I can remember. It was just me in the theater too. I'd like to know how much money that theater made off this movie because
the movie's already out of theaters
$12.
where I am.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
it
enough.
was. It had
$12.
4 show times the weekend it came out, and then it was down to 1 show time for the rest of the week.
It didn't even play at any theaters near me.
Yeah,
Like none of the theaters I would normally go to had this movie.
it has an 86% Rotten Tomatoes and a 46% audience score. I would say I'm definitely with the critics. Nate's definitely with the audience here. But if you have seen the movie The Surfer, let us know where you stand on this wacky, weird fucking movie.
You're scaring my boy. Like your boy is like 18. Okay, I think he can stand up for himself.
That is pretty much all the big new releases. Although I'm sure there are some quickies or some other movies that we caught up on over the last couple of weeks. Anything you want to mention here? I have a couple of note down.
I watched The Drop. Finally.
Drop.
I think we talked about that last episode, but I liked it. I really like that actor from 1923. He's pretty good, and
Brendan Skellner.
yeah, he's good, and it was a pretty solid thriller. All very kind of like self-contained up in that restaurant bar, and it's you know, she's running around and like she's trapped up there, and I thought it was shot really well. Like I know you mentioned that in your review, but it was very you know, creatively shot, like some really cool angles, and it was fun. I like The Drop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I saw.
Nate,
I've been on a TV binge.
You checked out Until Dawn, a movie that I had a good time with, but John hated
it.
On the last podcast. So, as the third deciding factor, what would you give it?
I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, okay. Match my grade.
Yep, pretty decent, fresh. I had fun. It was one of those, yeah, it's stereotypical, but it had some jump scares that got me. I like the concept of it. Just each new day revealed something else about like the town's past, and I like the characters. Some of them are kind of iffy, but I did feel for the main character. And yeah, just it's one of the better video game adaptations, I guess. I guess it's a little different than the game. I talked to a coworker who's played the games, and it sounds like there's some significant differences, but it was a fun little concept, and I had fun watching it.
Same. Yeah.
Nice. All right. I didn't. But no, that's fine. I wish I want to like every movie I watch. I truly do. I just didn't.
That's good.
If you didn't name her Clover, I would give it 2.5 out of 5.
Clover.
Fair enough.
Clover.
Shut the fuck up. Name her
The
like Abigail or something normal.
the only movie I want to mention or shout out is a little independent movie called Sharp Corner. I know you guys probably have never even heard of this movie.
Ow.
But it stars
You
Ben
okay?
Foster and what's her name from How I Met Your Mother? Colby Smulders.
Colby Smulders.
Yes.
Oh.
Her. But it's basically they're a married couple. They have a son. They move into this new house that is right on the edge of a sharp turn that is
Ooh.
causing a lot of accidents and a lot of fatalities. And Ben Foster's character becomes obsessed with this corner to the point of maybe some madness. But it's a fascinating character study, and Ben Foster to me is like one of my favorite current working actors. Like he just everything he does, he's just magnetic. He is fantastic in this movie. He's hilarious, he's pathetic. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a really weird, crazy movie that I enjoyed a lot. So Sharp Corner. Check it out. That's it.
Cool.
Yep.
Bingo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's
All
it.
right.
That's new releases.
That's fun. Yeah, that's new releases where we talk about new releases. And that leads us to another segment, though.
Oh boy.
I wonder what that segment's gonna be.
In the arena of cinematic combat, where thousands of movies are filed away in the vaults of their minds, two titans clash. Armed with the knowledge of cinema, actors, and directors, they enter a battle of wits amidst the aroma of buttery stale popcorn and the stickiness of cherry cola. Their teeth caked in milk duds would require a jackhammer to pry them apart. With every frame of film etched in their memory, they dance on the edge of cinephile glory. It's the duck of directors facing off against the East Millinocket mastermind of horror movies. Embrace yourself for the ultimate showdown where movie history will be made. Movie Fight starts now.
God, thank you to whoever put that on YouTube and said it was royalty free. I really appreciate that. Anyways, welcome to Duel of the Dudes, where Nate and Ducky will go at each other's throats in a
I was
best
not
two-
prepared for this.
That's
gonna be
exactly
bad.
why we're doing it, because it's going to be best 2 out of 3. You will have a 30-second opening argument, 30-second rebuttal, and a 30-second closing statement. You are not to mention your opponent's choice in your opening argument. You can in your rebuttal and closing statement. Whoever gives the best argument will be the winner. That is the choice. I will be completely unbiased to the best of my ability. I will purely base my decisions on your arguments, and I'm looking forward to doing this. Are you?
No. But I will do my best.
Okay.
I'll just have some fun here.
Like, I am sweating.
No
right
pressure. I'm out of breath because I just said a lot of words. And anyway, said Duel of the Dudes really loud. Duel of the Dudes! Here we go. The opening question is, and you guys, you're more than welcome to use Google, anything to get your thoughts together. We can always cut that part out. That if there's time in between to get your thoughts prepared, because you are not prepared going into this at all. You can go off the dome, totally up to you. But if you do need to Google like blah, 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 blah to get an idea, that's also fine. Anyways, your first question is, what is the best movie featuring a dog as one of the main protagonists?
I'm gonna go with Air Bud.
Spencer going with Air Bud as his choice for what is the best movie featuring a dog as the main protagonist. And Nate, whenever you're there's no rush. You can say whenever you want, blah, 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 this and that. And I have a fun way of deciding who's going to go first. Because it is a slight advantage to go second in these arguments. So
I'm going to go with The Secret Life of Pets.
interesting, going with animated. Okay.
Uh-oh! Looks like you just stumbled upon a trick question! Good luck!
Oh, shit. How that happened. That means you have to tell me why it's the worst movie featuring a dog of all time. So Spencer has Airbud and Nate has Secret Life of Pets. You must tell me and argue why it's the worst dog movie of all time. Uh-oh. Trick question. I made that drop in 5 minutes. So, hope y'all are excited.
Who's going first?
We're going to find out right now. Spencer, left or right?
Left.
Oh, okay. You got the high card. Nate, 6. Okay, looks like Spencer gets the power of choice. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll just go first.
All right, Spencer going first. 30 seconds on the clock to tell me why Airbud is the worst dog movie of all time. Go.
Airbud is by far the worst dog movie of all time because it's just it set a bad precedent for golden retrievers. It made a lot of young boys and kids want a golden retriever, thinking that this golden retriever could achieve these athletic capabilities of being able to shoot a basketball or catch a football, or I think they even played soccer in one of the movies. And also, they couldn't get just one dog. They had to use like 3 or 5 of the dogs too. Like, come on, like you can nail down just one dog here.
Yeah, no, that's I was gonna get the notification on my watch as well. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, so that's Spencer's opening argument for Airbud. Nate, what is your opening argument for Secret Life of Pets? I'll start the timer whenever you start speaking.
I think Secret Life of Pets is the worst movie that has to do with the dog as the main protagonist because he does all the things wrong that a dog should not do. The dog leaves the house, fraternizes with other pets, goes causing a muck throughout the entire city, goes in the sewers, has to deal with rats and all these other pets that are just roaming around, and he doesn't focus on the dog. He's just a character. And the fact that he is a dog, you forget about that. He might as well just be a little pygmy cat.
Okay. Awesome. Great opening arguments, you guys. We're going to be going into the rebuttal round here where you can say basically whatever the hell you want. Sorry, I like to take notes during these because I have a really bad train of thought in memory. Anyways, Spencer, whenever you're ready for your rebuttal.
I mean, from what I remember of the Secret Life of Pets, the main dog was like an incredibly loyal dog that just sat by the door waiting for the owner to come home after he was gone for his busy day at work. He didn't mean to get out. That was by accident. He got tricked by the cat. That can happen. Dogs are just, they want friends. With Airbud, I mean, the actual kid tried to abandon the dog in the field, was like, go home, we don't want you, because he just doesn't want to take care of this dog anymore. And it was heartbreaking, and the dog literally was left on an island because he sucks. All he wants to do is play basketball.
Is that's the first movie it's basketball related? I thought it was soccer for some reason.
The first one's basketball.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, Nate, your rebuttal whenever you start talking.
Airbud is actually the perfect movie to promote like dogs and dog lovers because that dog just wanted to be with its owner. He just wanted to play basketball. Where the dog in Secret Life of Pets, sure, he gets out, but he doesn't try to come. He tries to come back, but he gets stuck doing all these other shenanigans, running amok in the city. Whereas Airbud, it just shows the loyalty between man and his best friend and them taking on this sport together, which they're passionate about. And I think that is the perfect epitome of what dogs and humans are.
I don't want to be unbiased, but that was good. That was a good one.
I'm shaking so bad right now. Like it's not even.
Anyways, Spencer, here we go with your closing statement.
So if you remember correctly, Airbud is actually a stray. He escaped his original owner, and he only found Josh because Josh was leaving out snack pack puddings, and he was feeding the dog a very unhealthy diet. And like, because he thought that maybe he would keep the dog. No, the dog doesn't belong to him. He belongs to a different man. The man is trying to get that dog back. The dog is not loyal. He's confused. He's running around. The Secret Life of Pets, I want to know what my dog is doing when I'm not there. That's hilarious and cute.
Okay. Interesting. I forget the storylines of these movies, but your guys are really bringing it back for me.
Surprised I remember Josh.
I've never seen Airbud, so
The moment. Like, I think that is his character's name.
It's all about the argument. You don't have to be telling the truth, to be completely honest with you. All right,
No.
Nate, ready for your
Tell the
closing
truth.
statement.
well, just in Secret Life of Pets, sure, the dog is the main character, but I feel like he gets lost in the shuffle. you meet so many other characters that are just more pleasing to watch. You have Kevin Hart as this rabbit who's acting as this mob boss coming after him. I would rather watch that movie. This movie has nothing to do with just dogs. If it was Secret Life of Dogs, sure, I'd be happy about that. But he gets lost, and amongst all the other pets, I would prefer Kevin Hart as the rabbit and the big puffy cat.
Really, really good arguments, you guys. And I threw you a curveball there, and you came prepared. I know you didn't expect it because that's never happened before on the show with a trick question. But I felt the need to do a drop. So here we are. The question is, what is the best movie featuring a dog as one of the main protagonists? And you had a trick question saying, what is the worst? So
it was one of the main protagonists?
And
I had a completely different movie then.
That's okay. I'm going based on the arguments. God, Spencer, I really liked your opening argument here with saying that, having a golden retriever that's really good at sports sets a bad precedent for kids watching this movie because, I don't think most golden retrievers are good at basketball or soccer for that matter. So, it was a really good point about the fact that kids get false hope, man. They think that they're just because they have a golden retriever, it can do these things, which isn't necessarily true. Nate, honestly, I think you make a good point about, Secret Life of Pets, where it is a perfect movie for dogs and dog lovers. That dogs just want to. Oh, wait, hold on. That was the wrong. Yeah, what'd you say? Whatever. I'm just going to say it. That dogs. No, that it's a bad dog movie where the dog is doing bad things. It's escaping from home. It's doing all the things that you don't want your dog to do. Just getting out of the house and this and that. And then, Spencer, you had a pretty strong rebuttal when you kind of mentioned the loyalty issue with the dog in Secret Life of Pets, where it gets tricked by a cat. And that wouldn't necessarily happen to the dog in Air Bud. But yeah, Nate, you came back again saying that the Secret Life of Pets is just worse because the dog is getting distracted, and that Air Bud is better because it's about man's best friend, and loyalty is a big thing in Air Bud, loyalty. So ultimately, I just personally with this first question, I do feel that Nate kind of had a stronger argument overall. I think he made better points, mainly when it came to the loyalty of man's best friend. He really dived deep into, what do dogs bring? And I think that he had the better argument there. So I'm going to go with Nate for the first question.
Okay.
That's tough. Unbiased commissioner here. Anyways, Nate 1-0 right there. We're going to go into the next question here. And you obviously can use Google again. Your second question is, what Oscar winner of the past 10 years deserved it the least? And this could be in any category. Nate, if you have it, yeah, shout it out.
I'm going with, I believe it's Olivia Colman winning Best Actress for The Favorite.
Wow. Okay. Nate would go with Olivia Colman for The Favorite. That was in
2017.
Oh, really? So that long ago?
Something like that.
Chloe Zhao for Nomadland directing.
Okay, Spencer going with the director category. Nate going with Best Actress. Nate, you will have the opening statement here. Go right ahead whenever you're ready.
So Olivia Colman winning Best Actress for The Favorite is kind of a travesty as far as the Oscars go, because if you watch that movie, she is not the lead actress. If you watch that movie for 2 hours, you're following Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone as they have this love affair for Olivia Colman, but she's kind of in the background. She does play the queen, but she's just kind of a whiny bitch the whole time. And you get these two young girls just kind of fighting over the love for her.
All right, Nate with the opening statement. Kind of a whiny bitch, he says. Spencer with your opening statement for, I'm sorry, what was the director's name?
Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
Okay, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, Best Picture in 2021, I think. Here we go.
Nomadland is a fine movie. It's just a very minimal and just very simple movie. For the fact that it won a Best Directing Oscar is just kind of insane. I mean, there's documentaries that are better than this movie, and the other competition was just so much stronger with Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round. You have David Fincher in the category, Lee Isaac-Chung for Minari. Even Promising Young Woman was worth it. I mean, the fact that she won over all these other people, and those movies were even better than Nomadland. So it's just kind of a shock.
Okay, awesome. Great. So Nate, whenever you're ready with your rebuttal, I will start the timer.
I think Chloe Zhao winning that Oscar is very, very valid because I thought that movie was beautiful. The way she had her hands and everything, getting the directing to look pretty flawless on screen. Sure, it might have been very simple as far as the story, but if you're looking at a cinematic experience, watching a performance as far as Frances McDormand, and she won an Oscar for that, and just seeing the beauty come through the eyes of the director that did it, I think it is very much deserved.
Okay. All right, Spencer. I'm going to start your rebuttal whenever you are ready.
Yep.
Rebuttal coming in.
So what you were just describing there with the beauty and like how the visually looked, yeah, the cinematography is fantastic, and it was nominated but didn't win. Chloe Zhao got the Oscar win for directing a very just minimal style over substance movie. Yeah, it has a strong lead performance from Frances McDormand, and she won. But the fact that I think Thomas Vinterberg with Another Round directed one hell of a movie. I've seen that movie twice. I struggled to even sit through Nomadland. Olivia Colman also for The Favorite. That's one of the best performances of the last decade.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that, Spencer. Nate, with your closing argument, whenever you start talking.
Her performance in The Favorite was lackluster at the absolute best. I would have put Emma Stone, Rachel Weisz, either of these should have gotten the Oscar over her because the entire movie, she just whines. She plays this pathetic queen who just needs love, where I'm more interested in these two helpers who are kind of taking stabs at each other in the back. They're willing to do whatever it takes to be on top, to be kind of the one person to the side of Olivia Colman. It was not deserved. Either one of those two was more deserved.
All right. And Spencer, your closing statement right now.
Yeah, but with Rachel Weisz's and Emma Stone's character, you needed that anchor of Olivia Colman for them to kind of have this bickering war over, because Olivia Colman, her performance, she's just this like babbling baby that's just really over the top and screams a lot, and she's honestly hilarious, and it kick-started her kind of second wind of her career, and she's been in so many other great movies to begin with. I mean, Paddington, so it's great to see her back on screen. Wicked Little Letters is hilarious. With Chloe Zhao, there's just a lack of a narrative drive, and yeah, she's framed Frances McDormand shit in a bucket. Great.
I'm so glad shitting in a bucket made it in here. Awesome, guys. Another great argument there. Really respectful argument as well to each other. I appreciate that. The question was, what Oscar winner of the past 10 years deserves it the least? Which we don't like to hate on films too much on this podcast, but every now and then you got to hate on the Oscars. So, Nate, going with Olivia Colman, he's saying that, she's not even the lead in the movie, which, to be fair, she isn't even the main person on the poster. It is Emma Stone, so he's not wrong there. And she's a whiny bitch. Yep, pretty good opening argument. Very, very paralyzing. And then Spencer coming in with Nomadland, basically saying that it's just a very simple movie, and just didn't deserve best directing. So. And then Nate, you came back with a pretty strong argument saying that, Chloe Zhao winning was valid. It was a really good movie, really good directing, and a cinematic experience. And Frances McDormand wouldn't have won if she didn't have, a good director behind her. So a very solid point there. And, Spencer saying that, it wasn't really that great. It was just, it didn't even win best cinematography. So that's not a good argument. And it was really much style over substance, and he liked Another Round a lot more. And, he brought up some good points about movies that came out that year that I totally forgot about, like, what was it?
Minari
and not Promising Young Woman. Promising Young Woman, yeah. Yeah, I think, Nate, you also made a good point about that this is the other characters in the movie were better than Olivia Colman, where she just, again, whines the whole time. But the fact that was kind of your only argument against her was the fact that she whined. I kind of felt like I needed to hear a little bit more about like why she wasn't, great in the movie. Like, I get that is kind of what she does, but like I needed a little bit more as to why her character just wasn't deserving of the Oscar. And I think Spencer did make some solid points about like why these other movies deserved best picture more over best director more over Nomadland. So I think just for that alone, I do need to give this one to Spencer. This is really hard because you guys have 30 seconds to talk, and I'm trying to make sure I can like hear all the points that you're making, but it's just as hard for me as it is for you guys. I promise you that. Okay. Going into the final question here, whoever wins this question is the winner. Going into question number 3, it's a little bit more lighthearted, so it's not going to be taking as much thinking. It should just be a little bit easier. But anyways, what is the most annoying thing somebody can do in a movie theater that will almost certainly ruin the movie for you? But
I have one. You can determine whether this fits or not.
Okay.
Bringing your kid.
Ooh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you saying? Can you clarify those? Like a young kid or just like a baby or like
bringing a child? Anyone 5 years old and younger.
Like anyone that can't like actually sit and comprehend a movie.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Bringing a young child and or baby, I would say. Sure.
If you're bringing a baby to a movie, you shouldn't be at the movies.
You're a fucking piece of shit. Yeah. Okay. Great answer. And Spencer, what about you, buddy?
I'm gonna say. I mean, like talking is just like that's a very generic one, but I'm gonna say like using your cell phone, checking your cell phone
in any capacity, like sound or
electronic devices.
Okay, using your phone, any capacity,
watch anything that has a screen that lights up. Yeah.
Okay. Great choices. Nate going with bringing your child or baby to a movie. Spencer, using your phone in any capacity. Spencer, your opening statement whenever you are ready.
So my biggest thing with electronic devices in a movie theater is we're in a movie theater to one, we paid to see this movie. We want to see it in the best format and the best environment possible. So when we're in a dark room and you check your phone, it immediately just lights up where you are and it brings all the attention to that person that is checking their phone. And then you are instantly just distracted. You're missing what's happening on screen. You're missing part of the movie and you're just instantly just laser focused on this fucking asshole.
Perfect. Okay. Nate, your opening argument whenever you are ready.
You should never, ever bring a young child or a baby to the movies because along with what Spencer, never mind, you bring that kid, the kid gets distracted. It's in a movie. Theaters can get loud, so kids don't like loud noises. Kids will tend to get up and move around. If it's a movie that they brought their kids to see, chances are the kids are going to be a little more involved, which could be very distracting. They talk when they're not supposed to, and sometimes the parents don't give a shit and they're not willing to stop their kid.
Spencer, your rebuttal. Whenever you're ready. Here we go.
So bringing a kid to a movie doesn't necessarily always bother me because one is dependent on the kid and it's dependent on the child it's dependent on the kid and dependent on the parent. If the kid can sit there and watch the movie and be quiet, sure, that's great. If not, then if the kid's being too crazy, the parents can have the kid leave the theater or maybe they can leave. If not, the kid's just sitting there the whole time screaming, then you get the manager. There's solutions to do with this. With the guy that's just checking the phone, that's universal. Anyone can be that asshole and they won't eject you.
All right. Awesome. Nate, your rebuttal whenever you are ready.
The thing with having the electronic devices, you can dim them. You can put them on mute. You can do anything like that. I've never checked my phone in the theater, but I have seen people that do look at their phones, but if they have it on dim, it does not distract me whatsoever. The movie is so dark, and with the lights coming from the screen, it really, the hue and the saturation from their phone, I don't even notice that because of the massive screen. So if you put it on mute or vibrate, that's not going to bother me. The movie's loud and big enough.
Okay. Spencer, your closing argument whenever you're ready. Here we go.
That's because you're probably encountering expert moviegoers. There's ways to check your phone without being detected. Yeah, you can lower your dimness all the way and even put it under your shirt to check if something is really important. But you're right. There's those do not disturb feature that you and I utilize every time I go and see a movie, and everybody should. But people the general movie public people, they don't do that. They just instantly have their phone on full brightness and full loud, and they are instantly bored in a movie. They'll just check the phone. Or when I saw Until Dawn, they kept checking their heart rates whenever a jump scare would happen because they thought it was hilarious, and the flash would just immediately light my eyes and I get pissed.
Awesome. Nate, your closing statement whenever you're ready.
I haven't had really any problems with people using electronic devices. I feel like people have more respect than that. But when you bring a kid to the theater, there's just endless problems. The parent can't shut the kid up if they don't put like tape over their mouth or anything like that. So it's up to the parent and the kid. And just bringing them, it just stresses me out because they'll be kicking seats. They'll talk, they'll cry, they'll want to be with their mom, they'll want to get up and run around like they did during Spider-Man, where it's like, just have no kids at a certain point.
Just don't have children. In kids. Really good choices here. I feel like there's a lot of things that can annoy you in a movie theater. I mean, just endless things that we haven't talked about. Like, blowing your nose during a very quiet scene in a horror movie, or falling asleep and snoring after 5 beers that you spent $100 on at AMC. But Spencer, you had your opening statement here. Your argument being using your phone in any capacity, where you're basically like a good point, saying, you're in a dark room, the phone lights up the room. Your eyes are going to be drawn to that phone. Yes, 100%. That happens all the time. Nate saying, bringing your kids in any capacity. Kids do get distracted. They make loud noises. They're very unaware of what's going on and how other people perceive them. If they're used to having a very loud conversation with their mom, and they don't think that shouldn't translate to a movie theater. So again, a good point there. And Spencer, saying that kids don't always act like a pain in the ass. They're not always loud. Sometimes they do sit there and pay attention depending on the film, which is a solid rebuttal because not all kids are a pain in the ass. We've been to enough movies to see that some of them aren't. So that is, a reasonable rebuttal. And Nate, a really strong rebuttal saying that, there's a lot of things you can do to your phone that even you guys have done yourselves to, not make it distracting, where you can put it on Do Not Disturb, dim the brightness, where it wouldn't draw your eyes to it during a movie. So there's that. Spencer making a good counter argument at the end, basically being like, you know what, like you're probably just used to being around moviegoers that do that type of thing, like experts that go to a lot of movies just like you are. You can't put your kid on Do Not Disturb, is essentially what he said. Yeah, an interesting argument there. I don't know if that really lands as well as Nate's closing argument, where he said he doesn't really have a lot of problems with electronic devices, but he does have a lot of problems with kids. He mentioned, I guess, Spider-Man, where apparently that was a problem for him. You can't put tape on a kid's mouth. I mean, you can, but it's not really, advised typically in public to do so. And they do kick seats. They do run around. They are very loud. And I will say, I think that Nate makes a good point there, where there's just more that you can do to silence a cell phone than a child. So for that reason, I mean, you both made very, very strong arguments. But he's absolutely right, where kids are just harder to shut the fuck up than a phone. So I'm giving it to Nate. Nate wins. Duel of Dudes.
You guys don't know how sweaty I am and how shaky I am, because coming up with this stuff is not easy. So I commend Spencer and for putting up a very good fight, and I thank John, our host, for throwing in a curveball with that first prompt. I thought it added a little twist to the game, which I'm always down to see. Hopefully,
I'm so
we'll
glad
bring
to
this
not
back.
be in your shoes.
I'll be the mediator for the next one.
Nope, because I've been dethroned, motherfucker. It's you two.
Nope, I just won. So guess
versing
what?
each other. Nope, because now you got to fight John for the title. I had the title. You just
but
you
you
won
won.
it. You just won.
Did you win?
So now
but was it
you gotta
the title of
defend it.
Duel the Dudes, or was it title of Trivia?
I don't know. We all just make this up as we go, but
We do kind of.
We could either do
John,
Duel of the Dudes,
I lost
Trivia,
against Nate, so
Cinenerdle.
Yep.
We'll keep
I think
throwing.
it's 3 different games weaved into one. Spencer, he was dethroned. I'm glad to fight against Nate in the next episode in whatever capacity whatever game it ends up being. But that's it.
Oh, Nomadland. Oh, what?
Nomadland does fucking suck. I'm glad you mentioned the shitting in the bucket.
I
'cause that
like
is the only thing about
Nomadland.
that
I just
movie.
couldn't think of anything else, and yeah,
I thought I won that argument for sure. I was like,
no,
I got this.
there's no way.
I wish that my brain worked to the point where I could like retain all of your arguments without having to write them down during it, because I would just forget. Like you saw me kind of forget.
I could tell.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The
really
whole
hard
thing,
for me
so
to
I was
like remember.
Oh, I think I have this, but oh well.
Anyways, that is Those Movie Dudes podcast. It's a long one this week. Next week we have, well, not next week, but in 2 weeks we got a lot of movies coming out. We got Final Destination Bloodlines. We got Hurry Up Tomorrow. We have Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, live action Lilo and Stitch, and an A24 movie called Friendship with Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
It has good reviews as well. I really want to check out all of these movies, so I'm sure you guys will pick and choose which ones you want to see, and we will be talking about these movies on the next podcast.
Can't wait, everybody. Thanks for making it this far. If you did, then check us out at Those Movie Dudes. And if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe. That way you never miss an episode. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about these movies and about us. Do you hate us? Let us know.
And if you guys have seen Oddity, let me know if I should do this or my next Halloween costume.